NBA action. That's probably the best basketball you're going to get until at least Thursday and Friday night of the Sweet 16, Saturday and Sunday here in the Elite Eight. And, of course, the SportsGrid Network's got you covered. Make sure you tune in to Bracket Central in-game live. Fantastic viewing, a lot of bets, and a lot of fun. But before we get to those games, the NBA is taking center stage tonight. South Florida, the place to be. It's the Golden State Warriors, and it's the Miami Heat. And if anybody didn't know, the Miami Heat used to have Jimmy Butler. He couldn't stand his time in Miami. By the time it was done, he was moved on to play for the Warriors. And now the Warriors head back to take on the Heat tonight. Anticipated starting lineup for the Warriors here: Curry, Podziemski, Butler, Green, and Post. And away we go. Before we get to the handicap of this game, Joe, give me a vibe for down in South Florida for Jimmy returning to Miami. Is it apathy because the Heat aren't very good? Is it, boy, we hate Jimmy Butler now? Or does he get a Kings ovation coming back to town?
Well, they had announced a couple of days ago that the Miami Heat were going to put together a video montage in celebration of Jimmy Butler's time with the organization, and which, it spans through some, a couple of runs to the finals, and a whole lot of great times. And, of course, Jimmy Butler in his usual ways there, where it's all about him. He's like, I'm indifferent to it. He doesn't really care about it. So I would listen, 16-3 is what the Warriors are since acquiring Jimmy Butler. They have covered 11 of those 19 games in which he has been a part of. Miami just ended up snapping that 10-game losing streak. They're only 5-17 since they traded Jimmy. But I think that bulletin board material of Jimmy Butler pretending like, yeah, whatever, so what? After all those guys in that locker room that played with him and laid it on the line with him, boy, oh boy, I would expect a big early first half from the Miami Heat here tonight.
Yeah, take a look at the Miami Heat, too. Last 9 games, 1-9 overall, but that one win just came in their last outing here, so things may be looking on the up and up. You take a look here at the Golden State Warriors. Heading into this game, they have lost their last game, but are 8-2 in their last 10 games and playing very good basketball, as you said, with Jimmy Butler coming over that instance. If we're taking a look at the lines in this game, 7:30 tip time tonight between these two. The opening number at FanDuel here in New Jersey was a 4-point favorite towards the Golden State Warriors. That's now up to 5.5 live right now, and 5.5 at most major outlets. The total, very low, opened up at 218, but has dropped to 217 now live at the FanDuel Sportsbook in this game. So the Warriors minus 5.5, the Heat 217 as a price point with the total here. Any leans in this game that you're looking forward to, and some action that you might have with this one, Joe?
Listen, Miami plays harder than any team. The problem with Miami this year is they can't close. Most of those losses in that 10-game losing streak, they had the lead going into the third quarter, Donnie. And usually, and they just absolutely could not close. So if it ain't broke, I'm not fixing it here. I think Miami at home, a little salty. I think they come out. They have the lead in the first half. And I'd be looking to back the Warriors in the second half, because we know the Miami Heat, their fourth quarter problems continue. They have been all year long. The Warriors are a top 5 fourth quarter team. Their winning margin in the fourth quarter, top 5. Miami, bottom 3 in the fourth quarter. If it ain't broke, Donnie, let's not fix it. Heat early, Warriors late.
The best part about this, too, is it's almost like the Miami Heat figure they're destined to be in the play-in round at that 10 seed, because the Raptors, Nets, Sixers, Hornets, and Wizards aren't trying to win any more basketball games. So the Heat literally can probably, I actually want to say, lose out the rest of the way and still have a 3-game cushion being that 10th seed here. I don't think they're going to catch the Bulls at 32 wins or the Magic at 34. So the pressure for like the Heat to win, or let's just say try to win again, isn't really there at this point. But there is pressure for the Golden State Warriors looking for seeding and how they play. Now, if we approach Jimmy Butler props in this game, coming home, you always want to put on a show to say, this is what you're missing out on, even though it was Jimmy that actually wanted to leave, not the Miami Heat just unceremoniously throwing him out of town. You look at the points, 20.5, assists, 6.5, rebounds, 5.5, points, rebounds, and assists combined, 34.5. Any one of those props, Joe, stick out for you for Jimmy Butler tonight?
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me if Jimmy gets his 20 or more points there, 21 points. Would not shock me in the least bit. He's going to get the minutes. He is going to want to get those minutes. With Steph Curry still questionable, and he may not even play, it's going to have to be all about Jimmy Butler in this game anyway, and I think he'll embrace that. So his points prop, I have no problem with. But also, don't forget, is Wiggins playing? Because this is also a pretty salty spot for Wiggins coming back on the other side with Miami. So it's an intriguing game tonight, to say the least.
Yeah, it doesn't look like in the anticipated starting lineup or lineup, it doesn't have Wiggins listed in there at this point. So, or excuse me, I'm sorry, it does for the Heat. I apologize. Looking at the wrong side there. So, you're right about it. Back and forth on both sides there, ready to go here at this point. Let's bring up one more game before we hit the break. It's the Dallas Mavericks and the New York Knicks. We talked about the Mavericks yesterday, picking up a victory with Anthony Davis back. There's no shot he's playing on a back-to-back. The Knicks, again, without their superstar in Jalen Brunson, a 10-point favorite across the board, up from 8 earlier this morning, and a total of 224.5. The Knicks have not been playing good basketball. Is this got to be a bounce-back spot for them tonight, no?
Well, Brunson and McBride already been ruled out, right, for this game. Which means, to me, this is a great prop betting game. And Mikal Bridges, whatever his point total is, it's not going to be enough. Because it's going to be all about Bridges and him being able to score points here with no Brunson, no Miles McBride. They didn't play against Washington. I think he just dropped 27 over the weekend. So every time Brunson and Bridges don't play, he usually shows up and dominates. I think that happens again against Dallas as well.
Yeah, somebody's got to score. Karl-Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, and Cam Payne expected to be the starting lineup tonight for the New York Knicks going up against the Dallas Mavericks. That's a lofty spread at 10, but also for a team in the Mavericks that I don't think Anthony Davis is going to play, but they still want to make the playoffs. They can't be any throwaway situations late in the season. But the Knicks also, sooner than later, have to start playing better basketball. Maybe they will. A couple more NBA games to take a look at before we bring on the coach and take one look at the 16 Elite 8 and his thoughts and much more coming up next. NBA action. Let's keep it rolling tonight. It looks like, we have 3, 6, 8 games on the card tonight. The next focus for us is going to go out west, and that's a 10 p.m. Eastern game tonight between the Oklahoma City Thunder, the best team in the Western Conference, and have clinched the #1 overall seed, now fighting to keep ahead of the Cleveland Cavaliers for home court advantage all the way through the NBA Finals. The Thunder on the road to take on the Kings, who are getting 10 points at home. Now, when we look at this game, right, 228.5 is the opening number as a total up to 231.5 live. 8.5 is the favorite for OKC here at FanDuel, New Jersey, up to now 10. But understand this, too. Like, Sacramento is fighting for their lives to get into the playoffs. And the NBA is like, hey, we're going to slap you with a back-to-back. It is at home against the Celtics, who beat you up yesterday, and now the Oklahoma City Thunder, when you played yesterday, as a double-digit favor. Anticipated starting lineup looks really good for the Thunder tonight. SGA, Lou Dort, Williams, Holmgren, and Hartenstein. And then the usual suspects in the lineup tonight here for Sacramento: Monk, Levine, DeRozan, Murray, and Sabonis. Now, it is a back-to-back, but it is at home. They lost last night. Is this a walk-away victory for OKC for you, Joe, or is 10 points too much to lay on the road?
Well, it's keep an eye on Monk and McDermott are still listed as questionable for this game here tonight. So, and Sabonis is a big, is he going to go back-to-back? It's the second of a back-to-back. And this has never been a good spot for Sacramento all year long. And the defense of Sacramento has been absolutely brutal. I think over the last 7 games, they're averaging 124 a game. They're giving up to teams here. They're allowing them to shoot 50% from 3, 53% overall. And if we're OKC, like you mentioned, with not a whole heck of a lot at stake here, but they are at home. And we've already seen them sit all their key guys and still drop 120 or more points on teams. I think the team total of Oklahoma City, if you want nothing to do with the spread, expect Sacramento's defense to lack. Expect Oklahoma City, no matter who's playing, to score points. I saw it at 119.5, 120.5. I would go over the team total for Oklahoma City tonight at home.
Yeah, as we talked about, Oklahoma City, the best record in the NBA with 59 wins and 12 losses. Clinched that top spot in the West. That's out of the way. Now looking to sort of settle in to that true number one seed. Winners of 6 straight games, which yeah, it's the shame of it. We win 6 games. The Boston Celtics, who just played them last night. Oh, who's the other really good team and hottest in the NBA? It's OKC, so you get them on a back-to-back. But I did want to bring up that picture here for the Kings. 8, 9, and 10, let's just say, as the seedings here in the West. I don't know if they're going to be able to catch the Timberwolves, who are in 8 at 41 wins when Sacramento has 35. But behind them, 35 wins, the Phoenix Suns. 35 wins, the Dallas Mavericks. So, of course, you're playing upper-level competition, but they're both home games. You wanted to at least have a split or rest all of your key players one game and play them the second game and see how that matches up. And maybe they thought that was the best last night, where it's like the Celtics are coming in on a back-to-back. We're going to be fully healthy, and it didn't work out in their favor. Interesting times there in Sacramento, but certainly needing a victory. But again, wanting a victory and then playing the best team in the NBA, 2 different things. Let's move it out to the Atlanta Hawks and the Houston Rockets down in H-Town tonight. This line opened up as an 8-point favorite at FanDuel, New Jersey overnight, and now since has been lowered to 7.5 at FanDuel and across the board. A total of 232.5 has now risen to 236 at most outlets, including the FanDuel Sportsbook here. Any thoughts on the Rockets on the road? Do we get points? Is it a favorite game? How are you playing this one out tonight, Joe?
Oh, it feels like a lot of points, though, right? I mean, Houston, second place in the Western Conference, you talked about, and a lot of that had to do with that 9-game winning streak in which they were still a little shorthanded, but boy, oh boy, they got Amen Thompson back, and this team not only defensively can limit you, but offensively can score. But let's not sleep on what the Hawks have been able to do as well lately. This is a team that is dropping a ton of points here, and they are shooting out of their mind. We're talking nearly a 65% field goal percentage in games as of late. Can Houston slow them down? Maybe, but this feels like this is going to be a high-scoring game to me. It's an over for me in Houston with Atlanta.
Yeah, important on both sides, too, Joe, as you take a look, because you see the Houston Rockets at 46 and 26. Now, you might have thought, like, hey, slept on them a little bit. Well, where's the Nuggets and the Lakers? Falling back a little bit over their past 10 games because the Houston Rockets did lose their last game, but had a nice win streak before that. And behind them, the Nuggets, 4 and 6 in the last 10. The Lakers, 3 and 7 in the last 10, gaining ground. So every victory for the Rockets is important to stay in that 2 spot here. You flip it over to the other side and take a look at the Hawks, where I don't think they're going to be able to get out of the playing rounds, but you can lose back, which means the Magic, 34 wins, right on their heels as well. So a lot of things up in the air in the NBA as we move forward. A lot of teams tanking, a lot of teams also trying to play and jockey for playoff position. Let's see how it turns.
All right, welcome back in here, the early line on the SportsGrid Network. We said goodbye to Donnie Rightside. We've got the coach here. We'll take it out, Coach, here over the next couple of minutes. Before we get to the NBA, though, I just want to ask you, with this Sweet 16, if we were to reseed it, are we still looking at the same top 4 in your bracket? Would you keep the same 4, Florida, Duke, Houston, Auburn? Or do you think maybe Michigan State or somebody else should be there instead of the Auburn Tigers?
No, I mean, maybe you could say Tennessee over Auburn, right? That's maybe the only one I would look at. But there, besides that, the top 3 seeds of Duke, and you can put it in your order if you want Florida, right, or Houston 2-3. I think that's the case. I just think the reason why Houston's got the worst odds of the 4-1 seeds is they have to go through Tennessee possibly in the regional final. If you put Tennessee in any other region, that other team drops a little bit, even Duke.
Right. Yes, and I think it's going to be interesting here, starting on Thursday on some of these games, because there's some of the favorites, the 1 seeds are going to lose. Maybe it's this round where it happens. So we're going to see, as we've got plenty of college basketball still to go. Let's not forget the NIT, the CBI, and whatever else they're still playing. Plenty of college basketball around. But tonight, a lot of focus in South Beach when the return of Jimmy Butler to the Miami Heat, as the Golden State Warriors are coming to town, Coach. And they were going to put a tribute video together there for Jimmy Butler. And he turns around and tells them, yeah, I don't really care. Kind of indifferent to it one way or the other. Golden State, listen, they need to keep winning. Miami needs to keep winning games. Miami can't close anybody out. They finally broke that losing streak. We don't know if Steph's playing. He's still questionable. But let's not forget, Wiggins just is coming off a game. He dropped 42. You know, Wiggins is going to be looking forward to this matchup tonight as well.
Oh, yes, but here comes Jimmy Butler's his return. And listen, it's a sneaky big game, Joe. And you mentioned it. One, because Chicago's played really well and has passed Miami in that race for 9-10, which is a pretty big race because you get home court in regards to that. When you look at the West, obviously, Golden State has jumped up to the 6th seed, but they're only 2 behind the Lakers and the Grizzlies that have both lost 3 games in a row. So they can make a little bit of a run. You know why Jimmy Butler doesn't care about the video? It's in Miami. Ain't no one gonna be there. Listen, the way the Miami Heat fans show up, you got to play that midway through the 3rd quarter because they're going to miss half the 1st quarter anyway being late, and they're going to miss half of the beginning of the 3rd quarter being late, so you better hold on to it. But at the end of the day, you got to go with the team that is better right now, and that's Golden State. We'll see if Steph plays, but I do like Golden State minus the points. I think Jimmy wants to stick one last little jab at the Miami Heat and Pat Riley. Remember, Jimmy gets paid, Jimmy happy. Jimmy no get paid, Jimmy gets mad. Jimmy's happy. He got paid. He'll be good tonight.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, Miami 5-17 since the trade of Jimmy Butler. The Golden State Warriors 16-3 once they got Jimmy Butler there. But it feels like if it ain't broke, don't fix it, Coach. Give me Miami early. Give me the Warriors late. And we should be able to cash a few tickets in this spot here tonight. What is going on with your Knicks, by the way, here? No, we still don't have Brunson. I don't think McBride is going here tonight. Shouldn't be a tough game, but I don't know, Coach. I'm a little worried about this Knicks team here. They got I can believe the Clippers coming up on deck, too. What do we do here with Dallas and Anthony Davis coming to town?
Well, the thing is we don't know who's going to play with Dallas because I do believe Dallas, if I'm not mistaken, played last night. So in the second leg of back-to-back, we have to see who plays. Do we even get Anthony Davis tonight? So to me, the Knicks, someone you want to watch some of the bench guys. Tyler Kolik's had some good minutes. If they hang these little low Tyler Kolik, like 2.5, 3.5 assists because of no deuce, you may want to jump on it. Tyler Kolik will get minutes, and this will be a guard that's not going to want to shoot the ball, get other guys involved. Also, look at Mikal Bridges' points. He's played a little bit better as he's starting to get the ball, particularly someone like Kolik who wants to keep feeding him the ball as much as possible.
Yeah, I am with no Brunson, no McBride. Miles Bridges is the guy for me. Just give me as many points as humanly possible because he's going to score them here tonight, especially with no Anthony Davis. It looks like he won't go in a second of a back-to-back there. Coach, it's always a pleasure, my man. We will see you again. Obviously, plenty of college basketball. The early line returns again tomorrow on the grid. Enjoy the day.